So, the title probably says I got played. And when I say that, I don't just mean right now. Like, no, I've gotten played time and time and time again throughout the years. You know, a lot of people look at me and a lot of people see who I am today. They don't know who I was yesterday. They don't know who I'm going to be tomorrow. They know the product of a person that I am today. Now, unfortunately, a lot of who I am in this moment of time in my life is a product of what has been done to me in the past. So right now, you know, if people come into my life and they look at me, they might see a version of me and say, why is this guy depressed? Why is he unhappy? Why does he kick people out of his life? Why does he have trust issues? Why doesn't he like to be around people? Why isn't he funny? Why is he so serious? Why is he this? Why is he that? But what they don't know is that I wasn't always like this. And there is a much more beautiful, kind, happy, loving person who still lives inside me, who I still carry, who I still embody, who I still am, but who I just hide now because of what I've gone through. Recently, I sat down with somebody who I care for and I told them about everything that has been done to me in my life, and briefly to talk to you about some of the things. And I'm sure a lot of you have gone through similar things, if not much worse things. And that's life. We all go through things that teach us lessons, that shape us into the people we are today. For example, when I was 18, my first relationship, loved this girl, went through problems, you know, high school love, went through problems with her, this and that. To not talk about the whole relationship, but the relationship ended with me finding out that the whole time during the relationship, I was running to my best friend and he was giving me advice on to how to handle the situation. Come to find out, he was having sex with her the whole time. So the guy who I was confiding in to help me in the relationship was the guy who was sleeping with my girlfriend the whole time. And that was my first experience and my first, you know, taste of what life has in store and how life chooses to teach you some harsh lessons and the realities of what it's capable of. To tell you another story, there was a girl who I dated in college who told me she was in an abusive relationship. I had to get her out of the situation because she said she still lived with him, so I let her live with me and my friends in the house we were living at on college campus. I took care of her, I fed her, I let her use my car to go to work, I, let her sleep in my bed every day, and not once did I ever do anything sexual with her. It was all pure-hearted, good intentions because I cared for this girl and I wanted better for her and I wanted to help her out of her situation. Come to find out that she lied to me. She wasn't in an abusive relationship, and for some odd reason, she was with somebody who was okay with her staying at my place. And every night after she would leave my place, after looking at me in the eye and telling me that she cared for me and she loved me and all these things, she would go to his house and she would have sex with him. And he called me one day, "Hey Yusuf." I was like, "What? Who are you?" "Hey, remember that time she got in a car accident and you thought you heard somebody in the car and she said it was nobody? Well, that was me. How's boxing going, by the way?" "Oh, I know everything about you because she tells me everything about you." "Oh, by the way, every night she leaves your house after she's done cuddling with you, she comes here and we have sex." What? But I trusted this girl. She looked at me in the eye and told me that she cares for me. Just a young lesson that you learn going on through life. There have been so many different occasions where there have been people in my life who I have made direct eye contact with and gave a version of myself to. A version that knew how to love. A version that knew how to, a version that knew how to care for people, that knew how to be selfless, that knew how to not be all about himself. And every single time I did that, for whatever reason, the people that I chose to give myself to at that time in my life chose to disregard my feelings, not value me as a person, and to disrespect the love that I gave for them, and to do something to hurt me in the process. So now when I look at myself and I ask myself, why am I like this? Why do I kick people out of my life? Why do I have trust issues? Why do I not know how to have fun anymore? Why do I take life so seriously? It's not because I'm just a bad person. It's because of everything that has been done to me, that life has taught me to become like this, to protect myself, to not hurt myself. Now I know that's not the way to live, and I know you're not supposed to be a product of your past, and I know you're supposed to use those moments to strengthen yourself up and to be the best version of yourself possible. I understand that, and I know that's the silver lining through every hardship and everything you go through in life, and I know that's the embodiment of the moral of every motivational story that I tell you guys. Recently in my life, despite everything that I told you guys about me being lost and everything, I have been growing and I have been learning a lot about myself. And just recently, I had this great awakening. And I learned, you know what? I am capable of loving, and I am capable of trusting, and I am worthy of it, and I am deserving of it. Believe it or not, I didn't feel like that for a long time. I didn't feel like I was worth being loved by people. That's why whenever bros would tell me I love you, I didn't believe it, because I didn't love myself. So if you don't love yourself, there's no way you can accept someone's love, and there's no way you can distribute love to others and genuinely mean it. Because if you don't have love for yourself, you don't have love to give. Like if I don't have money, I don't have money to give you. So if I don't have love, I can't give you any love. That's just the harsh reality of it. But recently in my life, I had this awakening that I'm worthy of love, and I'm, able to love, and I felt so strongly for it, and I decided to give it to someone. I'm not here to tell you a sad story and everything, but what I did wrong in this situation, in this scenario, by finally learning that I'm capable of loving again and trusting, and I don't have to stop myself because of what happened to me in the past, when I gave this person my love entirely, fully, with no restrictions, not holding it back, just gave this person my love, I gave this person the identity of my worth, my respect, my value, and my love for myself. Meaning that my worth and value and everything that I was supposed to see for myself came down to whether this person saw it in me or not, which is wrong. Because here's what happens in that situation. That person ended up lying to me to protect me, to not hurt me, okay? That's what it boils down to. But by that happening now, I now lost all my worth, my self-love, my respect, and my value that I held for myself, because this person wasn't able to give it to me in return. Because this person, did something wrong and hurt me by trying to protect me. It's just such a mess situation. But by giving the person that control over my life, I now lost it. And that is not how you should learn to love yourself and be able to love others. Because by doing that, your happiness is in someone else. Your happiness is in something else, and it should never be like that. If my happiness is in my iPhone, and if anything happened to this iPhone, I would not be happy anymore, and this iPhone fell off a tower and I lost it, and I lost my happiness with it, then what do I have anymore? The only way to protect yourself from that situation is to love yourself first, to have value for yourself first, to understand your worth first, to recognize who you are as a person, regardless of if anybody else in life sees it or not. So I should have been able to say, look, I love you, I care for you, and I'm willing to give you the world, regardless if you are able to return that, or understand that, or accept that, or see that. Because that person not being able to return it to me should not dictate how I feel about myself. I used to go to this barber shop, and the barber used to not treat me good, used to disrespect me, used to not let me make appointments, used to make me wait hours until he could cut me. He didn't value me as a person, but I still kept going back to him for years, until finally I realized the only reason I'm going back to this barber is because I know that he doesn't value me, he doesn't see the worth in me, and he doesn't respect me. And because he doesn't give me that, I need that, so I'm gonna keep going back until he makes me feel validated as a person. So I kept giving him my loyalty, my trust, my happiness, and all that stuff, never getting anything in return, until I finally realized, no, I'm worth more than that. I'm better than that. And that's why I literally walked in one day, and you're not supposed to do this in a barbershop, and when he said, yo, sit down, I'll get with you when I can, I said, no, I'm not going with you today, I'm going to the barber next to you. And I switched barbers. And the barber immediately started treating me better. The new one started respecting me, started valuing me as a customer, and started making me feel like a person, like I'm supposed to be felt like. You have to know your worth, you have to know your value, and you have to know that it is not dependent on whether someone else in life sees it or not. If someone doesn't see what you are worth, then they are not worth you. Your worth is not dependent on whether or not they choose to see it or not. And you need to understand that, because there are gonna be people who hurt you. There are gonna be people who disrespect you. There are gonna be people who literally make you feel like you are not important. They're gonna hurt you so bad where you're gonna stare at them and say, how the hell could you do that to me, as if I'm not important, as if I'm worthless? And the only thing that's gonna keep you sane in that situation is understanding that you are not defined by whether or not they see you worth whatever it is you want to be worth. Because at the end of the day, the only person who can tell you what you are worth is the person who you see when you stare in the mirror. Because that person you see every morning when you stare in the mirror is the person who is gonna tell you you're worth it, you're valuable, you should love yourself. And by doing so, you are then able to treat others around you how you want to be treated, and you are gonna accept the love that you know you deserve. At the end of the day, we accept the love that we think we deserve. So if we think that we deserve a love that doesn't love us back, that doesn't respect us, that doesn't value us, and we're choosing that love, then you think you're worth that much. But if you look at anybody around you and say, if you want to love me, then this is what I'm worth, this is how I deserve to be treated, this is what I see for myself, then you will get treated how you want to be treated in life. You should not put yourself in a relationship where you have to question, does the person love me? Does the person want me? Does the person need me? You should not have to wonder, why aren't they texting me back? Should I send another text? If I text them too much, would it annoy them? And here's why. If you are in love with somebody, you should be able to love them whatever way you want to love them in. If you want to text them 10 times, you should be able to. If you want to call them 10 times, you should be able to. If you want to tell them you miss them, you love them, you care for them every second of every day, you should be able to, and not have to question how the person feels about it. Because if you choose to love that way, if that person loves you and that person values you, they're going to accept that love and they're going to show it back to you. But you should not put yourself in a position where you have to diminish the way you love and you have to question your worth just to please the other person. I recently helped a homegirl go through this situation, and she's been a girl who used to always reject every guy that came her way, until this one guy came around, and you know what he did? He made her feel like she's not worth it. He didn't reply to her texts. He didn't ask her to hang out. He didn't value her. He didn't care for her. He got what he wanted, trust me, but then his actions showed differently. So you know what she did? You would think she walked away and realized she was worth more. No, she still wanted him and she needed him, because she felt like if he doesn't want her, then she needs him to love her for her to feel valuable and worth it to herself. And that's not right, and that's what I did, and that's what a lot of you do for so long. But we need to understand who we are. We need to remember who we are, and we need to love ourselves like that every day. Love yourself so strong that no matter if the world doesn't love you, you still love yourself. And if you love yourself, then trust me, the world will love you. And the people who are meant to be in your life and the people who matter will love you. And there's no question and no doubt about that. The only time we allow toxic people into our life who don't deserve us is when we lose sense of who we are, because we are attracting the wrong kind of people. I've done it for so long. So long. I want you guys to remember this. If you ever question how someone feels about you, if you ever question what you're worth to someone, I promise you, no matter what they say, and no matter what they fill up your ears with, their actions are going to show you far louder than their words can ever say. I've recently had somebody tell me the world, and made me feel so special and so loved and so important that I was ecstatic. But all it took was for me to open my eyes and see their actions to understand that nothing that was coming out of their mouth was truthful, because their actions spoke louder than anything they told me. So if you are wondering how someone feels about you or what you mean to them, find the answer not in what they tell you, but in what they show you. Because I promise they will show you. If someone wants you in their life, they will make time for you. If someone wants to talk to you, they will make time for you. If someone wants your loving, they will choose you, and there won't be any questions and there won't be any dilemmas of which guy do I choose, which girl do I choose. The answer will be you. Love should not be complicated. As much as the movies make it out to be, as much as the situations we're in are complicated, loving someone should be simple. And the way to love someone should be simple, and getting love back from them should be simple. And if it takes away from your sanity and your mental state and your happiness, really ask yourself, is this really love? Is what I'm going through actually love? Or am I in love with the idea of this person loving me? Am I in love with the idea of the infatuation that I feel for this person? Am I in love with the idea of the toxicity, or whatever you want to call it, of what our relationship actually is? People always ask me, how do you know when you're in love? My answer is, when you know, you won't have to ask that question anymore because you'll just know. And recently I knew, and I didn't get what I wanted in return. But you know what? I'm staring at you right now, and I'm gonna stare at myself every morning and remind myself that is not gonna dictate how I feel about myself, the worth that I have for myself, the value that I have for myself, and the love that I have for myself, because I know what I deserve. With that being said, I love you guys so much. If you took anything from this vlog, please give it a big thumbs up. Please show love in the comments. Please tweet me how you felt about it. And don't be scared to share your experiences in the comment section below of what you've gone through and how you're gonna overcome it and how you're gonna stay strong. And I hope whenever you're feeling down or whenever you're doubting yourself or whenever you question anything, you're able to come back to this video and remind yourself that you're worth it. Nothing but love for you, genuine love, unconditional love, unrestricted love, a love that you don't have to think hard about. I love you guys, truly and honestly, and thank you for sticking by me through thick and thin.